Good morning, everybody. Has been a month. This is Chanshim. Thank you for joining me today. Let me share about the different idea of age. So I said it's like an energy age. So what does it mean? So as you know, we have three bodies, right? So that means there must be three different kinds of age. So uh, let's think about it. So when you hear, because I shared, 120 years, living 120 years, what idea comes to you first? What feeling? When I share this with my members, they say, no, I don't want to live 120 years. It's like a miserable. Or some people say, that's too hard. That's too much. If I live maybe by 80, 90, I'm so happy. So that's kind of our general idea because we have seen our parents' generation or relatives or seniors, the neighbors, right? The older people who have lived or even now living very hard life. When they walk the stairs, they have a hard time, or they forget easily, right? Hard to remember their age or number or names, or they cannot move heavy stuff. So we see a lot of limitation, physical limitation in their life, and the mental limitation, and then it's not very productive. Looks like more, just a survival. So my members said, I don't want to live their life, right? But now, the younger generation, now it's different. Maybe many of you now already 60 and 70, 80, and then you may not feel so old yet because it's at we are getting, our lifestyle is getting better. Does it make sense? So nowadays, if you are 60s, you are my teacher met a senior, and then the senior said he retired when he was 60s. And then he expected, right? Now and I'm 60s and then I'm getting older, so, he just created a very relaxing life. So when he shared that story, he became like a 90s. And then still he's okay. His health is okay, ability fine, and then mentally fine. And then when he became 90s, you know, oh, still I'm here. So let me do something. He began to learn the language. And then he shared, if I had this idea in my 60s, I could start something 30 years ago. And he said, I feel like I wasted 30 years, 60 to 90, right? So that's our generation right now. Or future generation may have a younger life, right? So let me introduce two perceptions about the age. The one is a very ancient perception about the age. So long ago, I heard this story. The ancient people thought first 60 years is for learning, experiencing. Learning what? The life, right? Experiencing many things for growth and helping the family work hard. Still, this idea is in the older cultures. So people work hard for first 60 years. When they become 60, and then all village survived. Many young kids died long ago. So when people become one, big party. And then the other, birthday parties is okay. And then people become like a 60, and then everybody comes and, congratulate. Oh, you survived. You had a good life. Now you need to live your life. So second 60 is for your spiritual clarity. So the life is focusing on who am I. It's a more spiritual life. It's a very ancient perception. And then in all the cultures, they still do that. So when they retire, they leave and then they go to the nature and spend more time there. I wonder if your country has that kind of thing. So that's the one perception. And second, many, many years ago in Japan, they had a kind of this trend because, you know, the last century and this, century, we live longer. And then they realized even their physical condition is okay. So they multiplied the zero point 0.7 to their age. So what does it mean? So when they are 50, 50 multiplies 0.7. So it's like a 35. So energetically and physically, they are like just a 35 in the past. Make sense? Because before, the average, the lifespan was 50s. But now, 50 is too young, is it right? So, physically, energetically, because we 42. If you're 70, it's just 49, right? 120 is what? 84 in the past. So, what do you feel? If you are 60 now, and you can say, yeah, I'm 60. But when we have the number 60, we still have the old conception, right? 60. Even in Korea, we had a huge celebration, when we become 60. Now, nobody does it anymore because it's just too young. The parents, our parents' generation, they live 90, So, kids become 60 easily. So please calculate your age that way. And then energetically, you may be much younger, even physically, because now we know how to take care of our physical body, right? So what do you feel? So this is the choice. So you can just follow your calendar. Okay, I was born 1930, 40, 50, 60. So I am 60, 70, 80, 90. You can follow the calendar. It's the calendar. Or you can feel your body. So these are different. So change the number in your mind. If you are 60, you can say, I'm 40s now. What do you feel? It changes your feeling, energy, right? If you are 40, you may feel more motivation. Oh, still I can do a lot. Is it right? And then this is real. It's not imagination. Is it right? So in 1889 in Germany, they began to pay the senior pension to 65. So after that, many countries began to pay any pension at the 60 or 65. And then people retired at 60 or 65. So 60 to 65, it kind of became like a turning point, right? But that was over 100 years ago. So we have to think about it again. Is it really time, right? It can be different. So when you become 60, you can recalculate your age. So 42. Also, you can think about the quality of your life from just working so hard to more like a spiritual. lifestyle. Who am I? What am I supposed to do for the rest of my life? Does it make sense? So, can you answer this question? So, choice, the age is your choice. What age do you want to follow? What age you want to choose? So, how old are you? Can you answer? How old are you? Anyway, it doesn't hurt, right? Second thing is, then what do you want to do in your life? Now, for the rest of your life. If you are still 30s, 40s, 50s, so what do you want to do? So this week, I hope you think about your energy, age, spiritual age again. So thank you everybody for joining me today. So next time maybe we can talk about these new plans in your life, okay? Thank you everyone. Have a wonderful day. Bye. Love you. Bye.